Hey everyone, and thanks for jumping back into the cryptoverse. We are going to do another live show and see if we can usher in a $52,000 Bitcoin. We're currently at 51,650. So let's see if we make it. All right. All right, we'll see if we make it to 52K. I mean, as we said at this point, as we said a couple days ago, momentum is really hard to stop. So up remains the most likely direction until there's a key shift here, like the one we had in January. But so far, it's more or less, we've been more or less been moving up day over day over day for the most part. Just continuing to move up here. So we'll see if we make it to 52K. Let's draw a line at 52K to show where it would be. So probably switch over to the minute time frame. So 52K is here. So that is where we are hopefully headed for Bitcoin. Don't worry, we'll talk about altcoins too. I understand that most people have much larger positions in altcoins than they do Bitcoin. So we'll talk about other coins as well. But obviously Bitcoin remains, it always has been, and most likely it always will be, or at least for the foreseeable future, the king of the market. And when Bitcoin moves, the rest of the market will watch. Yeah, you could argue this could be a 53 to 54K watch party. Um, yeah, I mean, I know that I always say that everyone should have or it's not financial advice, but I always recommend Bitcoin being the largest percentage of a portfolio. But I also understand that a lot of people prefer to take more risk and um, try to squeak out more profits with other coins, and that's why people get really upset when Bitcoin starts to move, because that means their portfolios are no longer going up. But hopefully we see something similar like we did in January, right? Where Bitcoin goes up, it goes into price discovery mode for a while. We let Bitcoin do its thing. If you own Bitcoin, which it's not financial advice, but I feel like everyone should have Bitcoin. Uh, then your portfolio is doing well, right? I mean, Bitcoin is carrying it up while the rest of the market is more or less just sitting still. Um, so, yeah, so I think too, when we talk about, we'll talk about Ethereum against Bitcoin in this show. I did a video earlier, but we're gonna look at a lot of different things. Okay, so the first thing we have to remember is, back over here in January, late January, we said that, okay, we're nearing the top. If Bitcoin volatility goes up, Ether Bitcoin will go back down. And I think one of the things to remember in the future, if you are very exposed on Ethereum, like if you have way too much Ethereum that you feel comfortable with and you don't have enough Bitcoin, the next time, like imagine we come back down and then ultimately go back up. The next time we're up here, it doesn't mean that it's the top, of course, but systematically offsetting some of that risk back to Bitcoin is probably not a bad idea, especially if you're very Ethereum heavy. Okay, if you're very Ethereum heavy. But obviously at this point, it's more or less a moot point because we are heading back, the Ethereum Bitcoin valuation so far is heading back down. Now, fortunately for Ethereum, Bitcoin volatility is up, but it's up in the positive direction, right? It's moving up, not down. And because it's moving up, Ether USD is being dragged up with it, but of course the Ether Bitcoin valuation is bleeding. So we understand this move. We experienced this as well in December. Does everyone remember December? Hopefully everyone remembers the end of December. So this is what I would say, right? It can suck sometimes. Alts are dead. But again, if you think about it, what is dead may never die. Altcoins have died theoretically so many times that how can they continue to die if they already have died? So I would say with a lot of altcoins, as long as, barring a Bitcoin capitulation to the 20-week moving average, gosh, why does the price always go down when I start the stream? Barring a Bitcoin capitulation to, say, the 20-week moving average, then I think alts are still catalyzed, right? I think they're just waiting. They're in kind of a holding pattern. And so I think Ethereum, we've looked at Ethereum in so much detail. If we were to pull up, well, I guess we should talk about Bitcoin first. Let me switch over to a different. So I'm going to pull up the BLX for a minute. All right, so here we are. We're up here. And so I was drawing this earlier, right? If Bitcoin continues up, Ether Bitcoin drops, right? If Bitcoin goes down in the short term, Ether Bitcoin drops. But in the same way that it went down here on these little upticks, that's when Ether Bitcoin can rally, or if Bitcoin just goes sideways. So I think Ethereum is still doing quite well. If you look at this parabolic move, it's essentially lasted us for almost an entire year now. If you assume that, if we say that this was a capitulation and then we came back up, more or less kind of got back on track, and then we went on this parabolic move for almost a year. So I will caution people, because this has been one hell of a ride. Who's been around, by the way, who's been around in crypto since at least March of 2020? Now, I know a lot of us have been around way before that, but who has been in crypto since at least March of 2020? Seems like a lot of people have been here for 2016, 2017, 2018. So 2015. I'm sure we have some 2013 people, 2014. So in general, what we would probably see. So what would need to happen to see a major altcoin move? Okay, what would need to happen? So if history is any indication, okay, I know I say that a lot, but let's just that's what we have to say, because obviously history is not going to always be a perfect predictor of everything. It helped us identify the Ether pump against Bitcoin in January. Hopefully people took advantage of that and even anticipated it in December. But now, what would need to happen for altcoins to have a major rally? Okay. So first of all, what I would say is that on any given day, altcoins can rally. Okay. And I don't mean and I'm not talking about, putting in 100% moves week over week. Altcoins can go up 10%, 20%, even in conditions like this. Okay. Even though December was ultimately Bitcoin's month, we know that December was Bitcoin's month over here. It did not stop Ethereum from going up from $500 up to $1,000. Okay, through the month of December. So even if Bitcoin continues pushing higher in USD, it can pull Ethereum up, and it can pull other altcoins up potentially as well. So we know that this can happen. We know that it's not like Bitcoin has to have. It's not that Bitcoin has to definitively leave price discovery mode for other coins to rally. We've seen this happen many times where various altcoins will start to rally. Polkadot is a champ. Polkadot is a good example of this. If you pull up the DOT chart, it's DOT's basically just casually putting in new all-time highs. And this is why I said back over here at $3 to $6 on the channel when we were accumulating DOT. Well, when I was accumulating DOT, we said this is the accumulation phase. And it's nice to get coins that have no theoretical price barriers, that have not been previously through a bull market, because there's going to be more price discovery there than for a lot of other coins. So even on today, DOT is casually putting in new all-time highs, and this is why I hold Polkadot. I think this is one that, like it's a decent play. Not only because of the fact that of the idea of price discovery mode, but again, it very much so far is, not exactly, but it is somewhat emulating Ethereum Bitcoin's early days. Okay, with this type of move here, down and then back up and then breaking through in February, which is exactly what Ethereum did back in the day, back in 2015, 2016, right? So down in Q4, back up in January, breakthrough in February. So DOT is doing exactly what Ethereum did so far. Does not mean it will continue, but doesn't mean it won't, right? Doesn't mean it won't. So I'm very bullish on DOT, and actually one of the things I've noticed as well, and maybe you guys have noticed it too with Polkadot, is that it tends to actually do fairly well when Bitcoin does. Has anyone else noticed that? Like if Bitcoin's doing well, a lot of other coins are not doing badly against USD. They're more or less just sitting humdrum, not really doing much of anything, right? Like nothing to get out of bed for or anything like that. DOT, on the other hand, I'm not saying it DOT's anything to get out of bed for at this point, but on the other hand, for DOT, it is slowly moving up in USD to new highs as Bitcoin moves up. So I think it is an interesting observation to see that DOT is continuing to push the limits here, essentially each and every day. As I said, it's casually putting in new all-time highs, right? Just casually doing it. Here it goes again, right? I mean, every single day, more or less. And we've also discussed the 20-day moving average as a key area to look. If you're new money into the space and you're looking to get exposure, and you have a certain coin that you're wanting to get in on, you might consider the 20-day moving average. A lot of these coins are bouncing off their 20-day moving averages, and maybe that could give us some indication as to when each of your pet projects will bounce, right? DOT bounced here at the 20-day at $8. It bounced again up here at 15. It bounced to here again at 18. Right now, the 20-day moving average is almost $23. So, and it's moving up each and every day. If we were to go look at ADA, let's go look at ADA. Where is ADA on the with respect to its 20-week moving average? Okay, ADA's doing quite well right now, so let's not get too upset about things. It's up a modest 45x since March. I know that's not enough for everyone, but that's a lot. So here's ADA. Where's the 20-day? Where is it? Well, it's pretty similar moves, right? I mean, it's not perfect, but you kind of get these bounces around the 20-day moving average. Right now, it's around 66 cents. So also note that we have this random parabolic line I drew. I don't know. I mean, ADA's been doing this thing where it kind of goes up and then goes sideways until it gets into it, basically up, sideways, and then down into it, right? Then up, sideways, down into the parabolic move. Up, sideways, up, and then back down. So I don't know if we're about to see an ADA bounce here or not, or if it'll ultimately come through and I'll have to redraw this line. But I am fairly bullish on ADA. And as we've said before, we got to keep an eye on the milestones. We have to keep an eye on the ADA Ether milestone, because this has historically been local tops where we reached last week. Now, I've argued, and we'll keep an eye on Bitcoin. It's at 51.5. It's okay. I've argued before that ADA, if you studied math, right, proof-based math or anything, like, if there exists a condition to get ADA Ether's valuation above this level, which was rejected 3 prior times, it would be these conditions. Okay, it would be the sort of mania we're in right now. The same type of mania we were in 2018. So if conditions exist to get ADA Ether's valuation back up to this level, which is essentially another 150% move. I mean, you'd be looking at well over a $2 ADA at that point, most likely. Of course, it does depend on what Ethereum does. I mean, if Ethereum goes to 2K or 3K or something, what if it goes to 2K? If it goes to 3K and then ADA pumps, then obviously the USD valuation will be different because Ethereum's valuation is different. But for a non-variant Ethereum, then we could be looking at another 150% move just to get back to the prior local top or the global top for the ADA Ether valuation back in 2018. So, you know, I do remain bullish on ADA. I'm sure many of you guys remember me talking about it at less than 10 cents. We talked about it from 2 cents up to 10 cents, saying it was such a great accumulation mode. Now we're looking at almost a 90-cent ADA. The interesting thing, though, is despite the fact that it's 87 cents, it still is below its prior all-time high, and it's below $1. My guess is that once it breaks through $1, it'll, again, it's not financial advice. My guess is once it breaks through $1, it can start moving relatively quickly, and this is where it really makes a huge difference if you got in early, because if you're buying it at 4 cents, then if it goes from $4, I mean, you're up 25x just to get to $1, and then you're up 50x at $2. If you're buying it at 90 cents, then you're just up 2x at $1.80. So again, bear markets make you rich, bull markets can make you money, but again, bear markets can make you rich. Another saying, of course, is the bulls make money, the bears make money, but the pigs get slaughtered, so don't get too greedy, right? Don't get too greedy on things. If you have milestones, whatever your moon is, whatever your milestones are, whatever your goalposts, whatever the goalpost is that you've set, if you can pay off your mortgage, if you can do something, right, change your life, you don't need to bet the family farm on altcoins, right? I'll say that again. You don't need to bet the family farm on altcoins. Be responsible. One thing to consider is that if you do take profits in any major crypto move and you get your finances squared away, right? You get your finances squared away. Maybe that means you pay off your house, you pay off your student loans. Then in the future, you'll probably have more disposable income to then put into risky assets like crypto. So remember, as I've said before, never let a good bubble go to waste. You can ride it out as long as you want, but if you come into life-changing money, it's only theoretically life-changing until you actually take the profits, okay? So again, I very much expect and want to see ADA push higher, okay? If it does, and whenever, at whatever point you're coming into life-changing money, I've seen the dangers before of moving the goalpost, right? I've seen it before. It's kind of like moving the goalpost for Ethereum back over here, like saying, oh, I'm going to sell at 400, or I'll sell everything here, or I'll sell everything here, or I'll sell everything here. And then every time you get to that level, you just keep moving the goalpost until eventually that goalpost is no longer hit, and then you have to wait 3 years just to get back to that level. So just be responsible, right? I mean, no one can tell you exactly what to do. Everyone's financial situation is different. If you're young and you don't need the money and you just want to let it ride for a few years, nothing wrong with that. If you're older, you have a lot of financial responsibility to take care of, and it can improve your life, change the life for your kids, your family. It might make a bit of a difference. So, and if you're nearing retirement, then you probably want to be even more risk averse. So it all depends on what your risk tolerance is. And with that said, I'm hoping to see ADA. Let's look at ADA's Bitcoin valuation, because this is one that's also near a theoretical local top, and we would also want it to push through like we hope it does for Ethereum. It doesn't mean it will, okay? It doesn't mean it will. We could look back at this and these could be local tops. But again, if conditions exist to put it above it, and right now, I feel like these conditions would allow for it. So we'll see if ADA Bitcoin can definitively move up further past this milestone. Because there are no guarantees, you need to be cognizant of the risk involved. We all want it to see it go up here. I want it to see it go up there too. But if it doesn't, it's okay. And if it does, then you might want to schedule your Forbes interview at that point. I mean, honestly, right? At that point, it might be time to start scheduling them. So let's take a look at Bitcoin. So Bitcoin's back at 51.5. Let's see. When did I start the stream? We gotta. Can't hide behind anything here. When did I start the stream? Let's see the damage. 19 minutes ago, almost 20 minutes ago. So I started. I don't really know what to say. What is there to say, right? What is there to say? This is where I started the stream, though. 20 minutes ago. Every damn time. Let's look at Link. All right, so Link is, if we're talking about the 20-day, so the 20-day right now is $27. I'm just saying, if this continues moving up like this, and you see Link come back in here, it could present another key opportunity, right? If it were to come back to its 20-day moving average. I'm not saying it will, but again, you guys know how I feel about Link. I mean, Link is one that I've often contended is too risky not to hold. I set it at $2. I set it at $8, at $12. It then went to $20. I took profits at $18.50, as I said on the channel, and then I bought back in at $7 and $8, and then I kept buying up to $12, and I was saying it was too risky not to hold, and then it dumped to $8, and I got a lot of flack for it dumping to $8 from $12 in December, and in February we're at $31, and I'll say the same thing, right? I think that Link, for the duration of this market cycle, however long that ends up being, is too risky not to hold. Doesn't mean it can't dump, right? If Bitcoin dumps to like 30K, it's funny that a dump to 30K is a dump, but if Bitcoin were to dump to 30K, I mean, of course, there's a good chance that Link's not going to hold up well, but if it's a slow bleed, then Link can do well. We've showed that before. That's one of the reasons we hold Link. It increases your risk-adjusted returns, right? That's the reason. By the way, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. We're putting in pretty rookie numbers on the number of likes. We're about at, what, 1/9 the amount of likes to viewers. So if you guys like the content, make sure you hit the thumbs up. Make sure you hit the like button. And subscribe to the channel. We're still not at 125,000 subscribers. So let's get to 125,000 subscribers, and make sure you hit that like button. How do you deal with the Ethereum fees? You just kind of have to deal with them, man. I mean, you have to figure out if it's worth it to you. That's why this happens every mania move, every manic time. The fees just go up because they haven't got all the things worked out that they need to get worked out. So you have to start dealing with larger amounts of money. For some people, right? I mean, if you're only sending $20 and it costs you $20 in gas to send the crypto, then it just becomes not worth it. Anyways, I mean, this is a good reason, right? I mean, Ethereum, talking about the Ethereum fees, it's a good segue into exactly why hedging against Ethereum with, say, Cardano, maybe Polkadot, even though Polkadot, I mean, it's not like Polkadot is identifying itself as an Ethereum killer, and I think identifying yourself as an Ethereum killer is probably one way for the project to get killed to some degree. So I'm not saying that these projects are Ethereum killers. I hold more Ethereum than I do ADA or DOT. But, I mean, with that said, because ADA has gone up so much, my ADA percentage has increased. It's still below my Ethereum percentage by a decent amount. But, the reason I hold these other coins is because we want those higher returns, right? We expect higher returns because we also are taking on more risk. There's more downside risk. If Ethereum were to dump, then a lot of altcoins will dump harder. So at the end of the day, Ethereum will likely stand the test of time, but it doesn't mean that other coins can't take market share and carve out their own niche, their own places in the space, right? I mean, they can do that. So I would say it's good to have hedges, and my two main hedges right now against Ethereum are ADA and Polkadot, both of which we covered since 2 cents for ADA and $3 for DOT. So I'm not just chasing the pump, right? I'm not just saying, oh, DOT's up 10x, therefore it's a good one. No, it's up 10x from when we started talking about it. And I still contend that if you're looking to get exposure to something that has no theoretical price barriers based on prior bull markets, DOT is a decent one, right? I mean, yeah, it's up 10x in a few months. But it doesn't mean it can't go up another 10x over the next year or two. Right? It doesn't mean it will, but again, I would say, and one of the nice things is you can easily stake these coins. You know, if you find yourself in a position where you're like, you put in enough USD into the market and you're wanting to accumulate more, remember, a lot of these coins you can stake and you can earn more. And you might think like, you know, if you're used to like 10-20% increases in your portfolio week over week, you might scoff at like 5 or 12% or whatever it might be per year. But you have to consider, you know, maybe you get 12% on staking or something, and you might say it's not worth your time. But what if what if you're earning 12% for 2 years, and then the valuation of DOT goes up 10x or more in that time period? That 12% can make a huge difference, right? I mean, depending on how much money you have, I mean, we could quickly talk about it, but I mean, putting out specific numbers is not always that useful. But I mean, imagine you say well, I don't want to put out specific numbers, but you know, earning 12% can be a huge difference. If the asset class continues to expand over the next several years and goes to say like a $10 trillion market cap or something, then you'll be happy. I think you'll be happy that you were earning interest. So just know that those platforms exist. Obviously, there's risks involved with it. We're not going to say that there's not risk, because there are risks involved with anything, but they do exist, and you can earn. So let's go take a look at Bitcoin. So we're at 51,495. It's kind of nice once you kind of get everything staked and all the different platforms, and you get your portfolio running like a well-oiled machine. Does anyone else have that going on, where you have exposure on different platforms and you're just watching the interest pour in, and as the interest pours in, the valuations are going up, so even the interest is worth more each and every week? Remember, if you guys want, we have a Telegram channel with over 16,000 people. So I would encourage you guys to check it out. I'll post it in the chat if you guys are looking for a Telegram chat room. Yeah, I mean, the reason I think it's good to earn interest and stuff is because you want your money to work for you, right? And if you think about it, like if you're just gonna hold for several years, why wouldn't you want your money to work for you? Like, just pretend like you don't care about what the actual valuation of Bitcoin does, or the valuation of Ethereum. You want to earn more Bitcoin. You want to earn more Ethereum. You want to earn more Polkadot. You want to earn more ADA. Whatever it is, you want more of it, and you don't care what the valuation of it is in USD. There are plenty of options in the crypto space to do that. You can use centralized platforms. You can use decentralized platforms. Okay. I'm not gonna mention specific platforms on the public channel. We talk about them some on the private channel. I'm not gonna talk about them on the public channel because I don't want to get accused of paid promotions, which we do not do here. So, I mean, yeah, someone says staking is fine until you lose your money, like BitConnect with staking. I mean, some of these were just like BitConnect was an obvious scam back then, and for anyone who believed that it wasn't, you clearly were just not considering the risks involved. Okay, I mean, anyone who had half a brain back then could have looked at their business model and knew it was not sustainable. It's not like it takes rocket science to see that what they were presenting was not sustainable. It was obvious that it was not sustainable. And it is unfortunate that some of the obvious scam platforms of the past kind of give the other ones a bad name, but you have to look the other way, I think, and look to the platforms that have reputations. By the way, if you don't want to use centralized platforms, that's fine. There's plenty of decentralized platforms you can use as well. So there's other ways you can go about doing it. Do I think Ethereum is being manipulated? Everyone always talks about market manipulation, blah, blah, blah. Right? It's just a market, right? I mean, yes, there can be manipulation. I mean, there was manipulation with, say, like GameStop. Of course, Robinhood closing down trading for GameStop is market manipulation. But at the end of the day, when we're talking about crypto, it doesn't do anyone any good to scream market manipulation anytime a major move happens, or you feel like a coin should go up and it doesn't, or you feel like a coin should go down and it doesn't. It's called a market. Markets go up, markets go down. We don't need to scream market manipulation every time something does in the market moves in a way that you don't like. So I don't think Ethereum is in market manipulation. I just think that it's doing the same thing it's always done. When Bitcoin goes into price discovery, Ether USD can go sideways. Maybe it gets slowly dragged up. It's probably not going to go parabolic until either Bitcoin volatility calms down and Bitcoin doesn't capitulate. If those two things happen, then it can go parabolic. And again, this is why we say, it's good to have a little bit of diversity in your portfolio, like diversification. I like to say that it's better to only have a few coins, right? I mean, I concentrate my portfolio in just a few coins. I do have more, but I would say that, like 95% of my portfolio or more is in Bitcoin, Ethereum, Link, ADA, and DOT. And you see why. I mean, every step of the way, at least there's hopefully one coin that's picking up the slack, whether it's Bitcoin one day, Ethereum another, Link another, ADA another, or DOT another. Think about over the last year. There have been times when ADA made major moves, times when Link did, times with DOT, Ethereum, and Bitcoin. So by having like a little collection, you've created your own little index fund of altcoin and Bitcoin. Then it improves your risk-adjusted return by which would have been lower had you just rather than had you just held any one of those coins. By the way, why don't we just pull it up? Let's pull up the extension from the 20-week. Why does it always go down when I start streaming? So I started streaming here, and it's down almost 1%, whatever. Let's look at the BLX. Let's go to the weekly time frame, and we're going to look at the extension from the 20-week to see where we are. So here we are. So, I mean, even where we currently are, we can move up and still maintain the integrity of this trend line. We know that this trend line, we know that it'll break eventually. Of course, I've said this every single time. I have to repeat myself. There's always new people. Eventually, we have to break this trend line because it's the natural log of the price over the 20-week. And eventually, it'll go below zero. And if the price is the same as the 20-week, if they're identical, then you get the log of 1, which is 0. So whenever this goes below 0, it means it's below the 20-week. So obviously this trend line will not hold forever because eventually it would imply that the price is always below the 20-week. But so far, it has been very helpful in showing us that each cycle and each of these major moves, the volatility, the extension from the 20-week has reduced back down. So for us to get to the same level of overextension from the 20-week as we did in 2017, we would need to go to a valuation of 1.04. And in order for Bitcoin to get to a valuation of 1.04, the natural log of the price divided by the 20-week moving average has to equal 1.04. What is the 20-week moving average? Let's go see. So the 20-week moving average right now is $25,753. So if we were to go to the same level of overextension that we did at the end of 2017, which we still have not gotten to, which I don't think we will get to that level of overextension, it would be almost a $73,000 Bitcoin this week. Remember, the 20-week moving average is moving up week over week, so next week it could be, say, $27,000 could be the 20-week moving average, and at that point, 77 or 76,000 would be a theoretical top based on extension from the 20-week from last cycle. But again, if you assume that it'll be slightly diminished this cycle, extension from the 20-week, then we might assume that this would be an upper barrier, right? An upper barrier. So this week, it likely won't go above 72K. Next week, it likely won't go above 76K because I would expect the volatility to be diminished. And obviously, I would even say lower than that because it probably won't even make it to that level. I mean, if it were to make it to, say, 0.8, let's say it makes it to 0.8, and let's say the 20-week moving average again was around $25,000. so 0.8, which would be theoretically possible and maintain the integrity of the downtrend. 55K, almost 56K, so somewhere between 55 and 56K. So, I mean, that would be theoretically possible and still be moving along this curve. Okay, that would be theoretically possible. By the way, we might as well pull it up, right? Let's pull up our regression. People don't like this. It's okay. Again, we're not saying, I'll say it again, we're not saying that the red band's the peak. All it is it's fit to 3 data points. So it's fit to this data point, and this data point, and it's of the equation y equals 10 raised to the power a times the natural log of x minus b, where a and b are fitted coefficients and x is time, and y is obviously the result. So it doesn't mean that this is, and I applied a tolerance band as well. It doesn't mean that this is the peak. Okay, we could push higher than it. Whatever the peak ends up being, then we'll have 4 data points to put in. If we end up putting in a peak, I mean, there's no guarantee that this is, there's no guarantee that it goes up into this, at the upper part. But if it did, then we would have 4 data points to look at. So that's the equation. Where does it range from right now? Well, right now the regression band ranges from $57,665 up to $85,000. The last 2 cycles went to the top of the band. So if it were to go to the top of the band today, it would correspond to an $85,000 Bitcoin. Remember, these bands are monotonically increasing. So time is on our side. If we don't make it there, it doesn't mean the cycle's over. Maybe we just come back down and then go back up later. If we do make it there, it doesn't necessarily mean that that's the top. I mean, we could come back down. Maybe there's just more intra-cycle volatility, and then we go back up. If this is the narrative of institutional money coming in this cycle, then I imagine it'll play out for several years and not just be over very quickly. But with that said, there's no denying how amazing this run has been. At some point, we'll have a nice correction, and then we can regroup, reaccumulate, and hopefully continue much higher. So we'll see where ultimately how things play out here. Obviously, this has been one hell of a run for Bitcoin. But anyways, if we put up another indicator, if you take the log, the price divided by the fair value, so if you assume that the green line is the fair value, and we look at, say, the daily time frame, we can see that it's getting not as far extended off the fair value each cycle. So if you just go from that peak and you drag it over, and you try to, you more or less just try to show each peak. So here, and here, we still theoretically have a ways to go, right? I mean, and again, I'm not saying that we're going to get there in the next few weeks. It could take a lot longer than that, especially if we have a correction. But according to this, we still have clear skies. Okay, we still have clear skies. And in order to get there, what would we need to do? Well, we need to get to a valuation of about 1.51 if it were to happen, say, within the next month or so. But what's the fair value? So according to the non-bubble data, the fair value is around 12K. Again, I'm not saying that's what Bitcoin's worth. But let's just say that the log of the price divided by $12,000. What would this get you to? Let's say 1.51 or 1.51. Where would that put the price of Bitcoin? So this is the theoretical room that Bitcoin could run up and still be following this trend. In the short term, of $54,000 Bitcoin, okay, and we would still be under this trend. So still some theoretical room to move up. And remember, it's not. You might say, oh, well, does that mean 54K is the top? Well, no, that doesn't necessarily mean that. First of all, there's wiggle room, right? I mean, it's not like we go through the exact peaks. There's going to be a little bit of wiggle room. There's no guarantee we go there in the short term. Maybe we come up and then we come back down for a while. Okay, there's no guarantee. And even if we do make it, by the time we get there, the fair value will be higher. Therefore, the price could be higher. So I'm just going based on what the fair value is today. Just something else to keep in mind. So currently the price of Bitcoin is at 51,432. Ethereum's at 1817. ADA is still at 87 cents. DOT is doing fairly well. Out of most of the altcoins we follow, DOT is probably doing the best at $31 today. And the dominance, what's the dominance doing? Let's go take a look. Here's the dominance. So you can see the dominance has pushed back up here some, like it did on February 8th when it first re-entered price discovery. It could, it's re-entered it now on the 17th. If it's short-lived and we don't continue up much higher in the short term and it kind of just hits a local top at around 51, 52K, and it doesn't capitulate, then altcoins will probably start to run again and the dominance will keep decreasing. If Bitcoin remains in price discovery mode and goes up to, say, 55K, 60K or something, then the dominance is likely going to go back up. Yeah, I mean, again, a lot of the different models we have show different things, right? I mean, if you look at the regression line, it shows one thing, but again, there's wiggle room, and if you change this line slightly, you can see how much this can change, right? I mean, it would go from, say, 55K up to 60K. Okay, so each model is going to be wrong. Hopefully some are useful. Our regression band shows that we could extend all the way up to 85K in the short term, and it still be within our logarithmic growth curve. So, at the end of the day, all models are going to be wrong. Hopefully we present enough models that are somewhat useful, just like the log of the price over the 20-week moving average, to try to get an idea of how far extended are we above the 20-week moving average. And we are getting fairly far extended. And for the people that say, nothing like this has ever happened before, so far, in fact, we are not as extended from the 20-week as we were in 2017, which was not as extended as late 2013, which was not as extended as earlier 2013, which was not as extended as 2011. So the people that say nothing like this has ever happened before, I don't know what they're talking about. If you guys like the content, make sure you subscribe to the channel and give the video a thumbs up. Let's get to 1,000 likes. Make sure you subscribe. Let's get to 125,000 subscribers. Remember, we have the premium list. If you want to know how I'm navigating these markets, you can check out the sale that we're having. You can lock in the lower rate. Check it out. You'll get access to the weekly reports, the weekly videos, the risk dashboard, the premium Telegram alerts channel, the Telegram chat room, and the TradingView indicators and more. Check out the premium list if you guys want to lock in the lower rate, because once the prices go up from here, I don't know if I'm ever going to lower them back down to the current price. So just check it out if you guys want. There's also a lifetime deal for those who are interested in that. I'll post that as well. If you guys like having a community to talk to, we also have a Telegram community of over 16,000 people, so I'll post that in the chat as well if you guys want to join it. All right, so let's look here at CoinMarketCap. You guys know my top 5, right? My top 5: Bitcoin, Ethereum, Link, ADA, and DOT. We've been saying that since they were not even in the top 10. Some of them were not even in the top 20. Now, Bitcoin, Ethereum, DOT, and ADA are in the top 4. We're not including stablecoins, that's for sure. And Link is all the way down here. However, I do have high hopes for Link. It has a way of coming through in the clutch on days when other coins do not. And again, if you look at Link's valuation, the major peaks that it has had, at least the last 2 anyways, again, it doesn't mean it's going to have it again this time. This one was in the summer, and then this one was in the summer. So maybe we'll have another summer peak for Link, if by that point Bitcoin can calm down, because we know that when Bitcoin volatility reduces, Link can go absolutely crazy. So I have high hopes for Link, but it's obviously not going to immediately go to the top 5. because for it to go to the top 5 at this point, it would need to double. I'm not saying it can't. I mean, it could double in the next few weeks potentially, but I'm just saying that like it's also a good hold in terms of waiting for Bitcoin volatility to really calm down for a while. That's when Link can really perform very well. Let's look at the Ether Bitcoin valuation. So it has dropped down some here. So it's at 0.035. Let's put on our regression rainbow and see where we are, because we have moved up some. So notice that each time, again, our peaks end up being lower than the previous time around. Okay? And one of the things we've discussed in the past, which we might be breaking, is that it kind of comes down 2.5 log lines each time. So 2.5 down, right? So red, purple, and then this one half. I mean, again, it's somewhat, it's not exactly 2.5, right? I mean, you have to measure it, but again, more or less 2.5. So then half, and then 1, and then 2. And then so far, this, I mean, we could break it, right? You could argue that we already have to some degree, because we are above the halfway point of this line. But it still might be a useful indicator in terms of assuming we won't make it back up to this one, at least. We've never been able to go back up to one that we hit in a prior cycle. So where would that put us today? I mean, the price would need to go much higher. I mean, this band would actually be at $174,000 right now. I don't think we're going to get to $174,000 in a very quick period of time. Of course, we can eventually get there, but by that time, it might correspond to a lower band. So the top of the green band is actually at just shy of 60K, which is still theoretically possible. It's still 2 bands below the prior one. So, I mean, we'll see if ultimately we'll have to see where we end up where we finally top out. If we go to the top of this one, it would be corresponding to over 100K Bitcoin in the short term. So, and actually, let's look at our Ethereum regression rainbow. So here we are. So yeah, I mean, maybe we still are able to go up to the orange one. Might be a possibility, which would correspond to around a 3K Ethereum. So I'm hoping that we can make it up to at least the orange one before a major correction, and maybe we'll get lucky and make it to the purple one. The dollar is kind of picking up. I would say keep an eye on this, because if the dollar is able to break through this bull market support band like it did back in early 2018, then it might, I mean, we're still getting pushed down, which is one of the reasons why I think Bitcoin has been doing so well. But it's currently at 91,423. So keep an eye on this, because as this comes down, if we're able to pop above it, then it probably would not be good for Bitcoin and stocks. I was never saying Bitcoin can't get to 100K. We probably have 100 videos on this channel saying that Bitcoin, I think the peak will be between 100 to 200K this cycle. So, I'm not really sure what Ryan is talking about. I mean, I think the entire market cap can get to maybe, I mean, by the end of the cycle, maybe 10 trillion, which is still a long ways off. I think it's going to be a long road for sure. But you're not going to get to a $10 trillion market cap without having at least a $100,000 Bitcoin. So I mean, this doesn't make any sense, Ryan. Yeah, I don't know. The trolls always exist, right? We probably have 100 videos where I say that I think Bitcoin. I think most of my videos conclude with Bitcoin going to about 140K. But of course, you're going to get an occasional person that likes to say stuff like that. Um, let's see. So Link's at 3180. Um, the dominance 60. It actually looks like it went up to almost 63.4 not too long ago. We'll see if Bitcoin can trend back up. So I mean, maybe we'll call this the stream dip, where whenever I start streaming, it has to dip back down. So we've lived through it. Let's see if we can push back up. Looks like the top here was at almost 51.8 on Coinbase. I've actually looked into that. You know, Alexander says, "If I notice anything useful when the bull market support bands flip each other." I looked into it before, but I mean, maybe I need to look harder. I never really found anything that interesting. He's talking about, if you notice, there's a color code. The color changes every time they cross. This is the 20-week SMA and the 21-week EMA. The last time they crossed was all the way over here in October. So it's actually been quite a while since they crossed. Obviously, for them to cross again, the price of Bitcoin needs to come back down, because the green line is the 21-week EMA, and it will be quicker to react. So if for instance the price were to come back down, then we would see something like we saw over here, right? This is going up, and then eventually the 21-week EMA will cross over. The 20-week SMA continues up for a while and does something like that. So it's been a while since they crossed. This was a fairly, you know, if you take a look here to see how long it took them to cross here, it was 189 days. From this point so far, we're currently at 119 days. 189 days for a cross would be out in late April. Yeah, we do live streams when the market corrects. When the market would dump back in March and stuff, we had a lot of live streams. Those are actually fun live streams, because you realize you're getting a good deal on the crypto, and then you dream of the future money you will make. And then once you get to that point where you're making all the money, then things can be, you know, people find it a lot more stressful. I mean, I think when the market dumps, it's even more exciting because you're basically setting yourself up in the future. The crossing over, as I said, is just a cross of the 20-week SMA and the 21-week EMA. We'll see if Bitcoin can push 52K. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, and give the video a thumbs up. We're currently at 123,000, so let's get 2,000 more subscribers. I don't think that's gonna happen, but. Yeah, of course. If you go back and look over here, we'll do live streams when it dumps. If you go back and look over here, we had a live stream like every few days at the 20-week, and we kept saying hold the line. Does anyone remember that? Hold the line. The hold the line videos. We had like 10 of them where we put out when we were trying to hold the line. We held it, and then it went up a lot. All right, let's see. Bitcoin's at 51,695. Ethereum's being dragged up with it too. Ethereum's at 1827, but obviously Ethereum's not doing anything to write home about yet because Bitcoin volatility remains high. So I see people asking about Avalanche. So here's the Avalanche chart. Let's pull up the 20-day. So yeah, it's having a nice little correction here. I mean, it was what? It was $3 not that long ago, and now it's $38. Yeah, I know. I think they have some bugs that they're working out on the blockchain, so I guess it's not that surprising. Again, I would look always to the 20-day potentially. The 20-day right now is at $28, so. All right, let's keep an eye on Bitcoin, see if it can go up to 52. All right, we just hit 51.7. Yeah, I don't own Aave, but it might be one that I might buy in the future if there's like a correction or something. I don't really want to chase it now, but maybe in the future, if after a major correction or something, maybe I'll look into it more. So what do you guys? So I know the market caps are different, right, between DOT and Link. Obviously DOT is at a market capitalization of 28 billion, and Link is at a market capitalization of almost 13 billion. So Link's market cap is about half right now of what DOT's is. But it's interesting because right now their prices are essentially identical. So if you were to go buy one, obviously you would want, like, let's say, like, okay, so between Link and Dot, what do you guys think will hit $100 first? Again, it doesn't mean it's going to happen anytime soon, but between those two, what do you think is going to go to $100 first? They both need to go do about a 3x to get there. Looks like we have a good mixture of Link and Dot responses. I think the answer to that question that people would probably give depends on what coin is moving that day sometimes. All right, let's get to 1,000 likes. We need 14 more likes, so hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you guys enjoy the show. Remember to check out the Telegram channel if you guys want to join a crypto chat community. We also have a stocks channel as well, Into the Equityverse. So if you guys are looking to join a group that talks about stocks, and I'll post that one in the chat. And then I'll also post one more. This one will be microcap cryptocurrencies. So if you guys want to talk about microcaps, go talk about them in the group that I'm going to post, Into the Cryptocosm. All right, we'll see if we can keep pushing up here. So this is our 52K level up here. The dollar is actually looking pretty strong today. So again, I would say just keep an eye out. Keep an eye out on it. If it keeps getting hammered down by this long-term, moving average, then maybe then Bitcoin will continue to do well for a while. All right, chop sideways here for several weeks before definitively making a move. Green Thumb says he's changing, this crypto is changing his life. I'm glad it is. I'm glad crypto is changing your life. Remember, it's only life-changing money if you take the profits. It's not life-changing if you don't. So, I mean, with that said, I still have the majority of my altcoin positions. I want to see them go higher, but if you ever find yourself where you're like, wow, this would really change my life, you have to figure out, okay, is it worth betting the family farm on an altcoin, or should you take some profits? That's something you have to figure out. All right, let's see. We're just waiting here. I'm probably not going to keep the stream going forever, but I just want to see if we can break 52K on stream. We missed a lot of major milestones on stream recently, so not that 52 is really a major milestone, but I mean, at this point, $1,000 moves are not that meaningful, right? I mean, $1,000 move at like 3K up to 4K was a big move, but to go from 51 to 52 percentage-wise is not that significant. So it's not a big deal, but we'll see if we can break it. Kind of nice to just zoom out sometimes and look at the bigger picture. One thing you can also do, which is fun, remove everything, put on just like one moving average. Like let's say the 50 week. Let's put on the 50 week. So do this occasionally. Make it so you can see it really well. And then you hide the price. Right? Price is just noise. This is the this is the 50-week moving average of Bitcoin. So yeah, that's the 50-week moving average. Also, another indicator that's interesting to look at is this one. It's the 100 week divided by the 200 week moving average. If I can find it. I like this one. Look at this one. This is the 100 week divided by the 200 week. $51.8. Oh, we almost missed it. Should we draw a house? All right, so we went to 51,855. I'll close some tabs so I can easily, let me just keep an eye on this right here. But actually, I think I also made another one, because the downside with this one is that it's a lagging indicator, right? The peak comes well after the actual peak, and the bottom comes well after the actual bottom. But I believe if you take the derivative, right, you can look at the inflection point, so where it changes concavity and goes from concave up to concave down. Right here, this is this is closer to the bottom. This is closer to the top. Closer. Well, I mean, it's hard to actually show it because I need to actually take the exact value. Let me just. Sorry, Bitcoin's at 51,890. Let me see if I have it though. Is this not it? Something went wrong. I don't know. I'll have to look for it later. Whatever, I'll look for it later. All right, we're at 51,885. I'm trying not to miss it. $51,900. 51,939. Yeah, Ethereum's not doing much, but again, it's not super surprising. All right, Bitcoin's at 51,955, so that's our new all-time high, 51,955. Can anyone? I don't really want to do it right now. Can anyone pull up the order book? How many? What's the sell wall look like on Coinbase and Binance at 52? I imagine that Bitcoin can handily get through it, but all right, 51,968 is now the top. Is this our all-time high? I should say. Oh, we just hit 51,992 on Coinbase. 51,992. We are close to breaking through it. Ethereum, yeah, Ethereum's not doing anything. 52. All right, we're at 52K. I imagine the piranhas are eating the sell wall now. They're buying it up. If we get rejected and come back down, then we'll probably just trend back up later and continue eating through it. There it goes, above 52. Make sure you guys, oh wow, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel and give the video a thumbs up if you guys enjoy the show. Yeah, it looks like basically. I mean, this is the alts are dead phase. Remember, December went to December went to Bitcoin. January went to altcoins. I gotta say, February is not over yet, but I don't think we can say that February is going to altcoins. I think February goes to Bitcoin. Do you guys agree? December and February was for Bitcoin. January and maybe March for maybe altcoins. Right now, though, it's a Bitcoin party for February. We have about 11 more days in February, too, so we'll see what happens. All right, we're moving up. 52,179. 52,200. I might have to change the title of the stream to be 53K Watch Party. Yeah, Ethereum's slowly moving up, but again, it's not, as we said before, we expect Ethereum to bleed as long as Bitcoin remains in price discovery mode. So the most likely direction for Ether Bitcoin is down until Bitcoin leaves price discovery mode. coming back down a little bit, closer to 52K. The dollar is still looking fairly strong, actually. Ether USD. What I'm hoping for Ether here, guys, just so you guys are aware, I'm hoping that either this week or next week, Ethereum has another surge. And I'm hoping that happens regardless of what Bitcoin, regardless if Bitcoin remains in price discovery mode. Like, Ethereum USD will trend up at various points when Bitcoin's in price discovery. It did it in December. Ethereum basically did a 2x in December, but in terms of its Bitcoin valuation, it wasn't doing that well. So even if Bitcoin remains in price discovery, it doesn't mean that Ether can't go up like 20%. Okay, we could still see Ether go up like 20% or something. It's just not going to be necessarily keeping up with Bitcoin. So I still contend that a $2,000 Ethereum could be on the cards, even without even with a Bitcoin in price discovery mode. Okay, even with a Bitcoin in price discovery mode, we could still see a 2K Ether because it might just get dragged up with it. And then maybe a 2K to 3K Ether comes after Bitcoin leaves price discovery. So maybe what I'm saying is maybe this move here gets us to 2K Ether, and then this move gets us to like a 3K Ether or a 4K Ether or something. Yeah, basically, it's just the momentum change in the market, right? Down and up, down, back up to the halfway, back down, back to the top, back down. Our December capitulation, which we prepared for, back up. If we come back down, hopefully what comes after it, back up. And by the way, to just like look at this, let's say we come back down and then come back up in March or April, and we go to a valuation of 0.05. So let's suppose we go to a valuation of 0.05, Ethereum does, for a constant Bitcoin. Let's see what that would be. So if Bitcoin were to stay at 52, well, what do we do? We don't even need to do this. It's just $2,600, right? It's just an easy ratio, 0.05. So you just take it in half and take a zero off. So Ethereum, I think, will, as long as Bitcoin does not dump to the 20-week, I think Ethereum will do very well. Okay, so as long as we don't see a capitulation to the 20-week, I think Ethereum's going to have another nice run here over the next few weeks. And the major move against Bitcoin will likely not happen until Bitcoin volatility reduces back down. But again, right now, it's a Bitcoin party. Bitcoin's in price discovery mode. Bitcoin controls the market. It's the king of the market. It always has been. It probably always will be, at least for the foreseeable future. So we just need to recognize that, and we've got to play by the rules of the game. And we don't make the rules, but we need to follow them. And the rules are that Bitcoin controls the market. It looks like we made it up to 52,232 on Coinbase. By the way, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel and give the video a thumbs up if you guys like the content. Let's go for 125,000 subscribers. Let's go for maybe 1,500 likes. If we get to 2,000 likes, I'll get a new chair. How about that? Then you don't have to worry about all the squeaking. If we get to 2,000 likes, I'll get a new chair. I'll have to cash out some crypto, but yeah, the dominance is moving back up again. Still more or less in a downtrend. Like we said over here, I don't think it's a definitive direction change yet. But each day that passes where Bitcoin continues to do this, you can make the argument more and more that this might be a momentum change. But I don't think it's quite confirmed yet. It looks like Link's back at $32. So DOT and Link are neck and neck in terms of the price, not in terms of their market capitalization. Again, DOT's market cap is twice as high, but yeah, I'll just turn off the stream before we get to 2,000 likes. Then I don't have to worry about getting a new chair. I think we've only gotten to 2,000 likes like 3 or 4 times, and it was with like 4,000 viewers. So Um, by the way, who owns more Ethereum than Bitcoin? I'm curious because I feel like it's most of you, based on emails that I get, based on how much people freak out when Ethereum starts moving and Bitcoin does. How many people own more Ethereum than Bitcoin? I'm curious, and be honest. Seems like a lot of people do. There's a few people that don't. Seems like there's a lot of people that do. So remember the next time, if you are very overexposed on Ethereum, always remember that if we do get another pump here in the next few weeks, let's say we come back down and then come back up, you could always use as an opportunity to offset some of your risk, right? It doesn't mean you necessarily need to sell your entire Ethereum position, but offsetting a little bit of risk back to Bitcoin or something, or to stable coins, or if you want to increase your Bitcoin percentage, you could go back to Bitcoin and then just play the game, right? Just play this game. By the way, Link is a champ, right? I mean, it's been putting in decent gains just steadily over the last few weeks. But again, how many coins can say they're up more than 10x, 20x for that matter, 21x, 22x from their prior all-time high? Not a lot of coins from back from 2018 can say that. So Link is still doing phenomenally well. And if we look at the bull market support band for Link USD, you can see that we rode the support band for a few months. This was a key accumulation period, and now we've rocketed back off above it. So, but just business as usual for Link, right? Nothing necessarily out of the ordinary there. That's an interesting little candle. Yeah, short-term versus long-term tax implications. A lot of times it's best if you. I mean, like if you're in the United States. I'm not offering any financial advice or anything like that. You should consult with your CPA. But um, I do try to make the majority of my trades reach long-term capital gains. Okay. Now there could be some exceptions. Like if I buy an altcoin and it goes up like 20x or something, then yeah, I might take profits before a year. But for the most part, especially for things like Bitcoin, I would like to see it be in long-term capital gain mode. So, all right, we just put in a new all-time high of 52,348 on Coinbase. I'm sure it went higher somewhere else, but that's where we just hit on Coinbase. All right, we're moving up again. 52,320. Make sure you guys subscribe. Subscribe to the channel if you like the content. Join the Telegram channel if you want a chat room to talk crypto. Yeah, I'm sure it hit 52.4 on some exchanges already. We're just watching Coinbase right now. And this one up here is Bitstamp. So you can see Bitstamp right here, and then this is Coinbase. ADA is still sitting just shy of 90 cents. Yeah, I mean, basically most of the market is just watching Bitcoin, right? This makes sense. It's a Bitcoin party right now. February goes to Bitcoin. Someone says it's gonna go through the roof, but the wrong way. we'll, we'll see. Normally my houses at least somewhat interact with the price. We'll see what happens. Huh. I'm curious what the we'll come back over here in a minute, but I just want to look at the what's again, I don't really put a whole lot of credence into the RSI, but I just want to look at the 1-day RSI really quick and see where it is. So it's still climbing here. So that's the 1-day. Looks like it reached 91 back in early January, and right now it is at 76 or so. So right now it's at 76. If we look at the weekly, yeah, I know some people were thinking it might come all the way back down to these levels over here, but so far it has not. This is kind of where it's been before in the past. It's like a 53 or so. So far it's not. I mean, the point we put it up here was at like 95, 96. So, all right, let's go back over to the minute time frame. Get rid of that. Ethereum's being slowly dragged up, kicking and screaming. So I'm just looking at some of the other coins. Monero's actually had a pretty good run recently, up to 250. I mean, it's up 47% this week. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel and give the video a thumbs up if you like the content. Let's go for 125,000 subscribers. We're currently at 123,000. I don't know about you guys, but I mean, whenever this Bitcoin move ends, and as long as it doesn't capitulate, it'll be really exciting to see where some of the altcoins we follow might take us. Like I really would like ADA to put in a new all-time high. If you think about like Bitcoin hit its prior all-time high in December, Ethereum hit its prior all-time high in January. Maybe ADA will hit its prior all-time high in February or March. For how many years will we be able to play with this crypto market? I mean, you can play with crypto basically non-stop. I mean, you're not always going to get crazy moves like this, but it doesn't mean that you can't see really interesting moves like every step of the way. I mean, there will be some boring times, of course, but there's not, I mean, if you look at this chart, this is not a very, I mean, this is a very volatile chart. So, I mean, there's plenty of times to play with it. Obviously, you're not going to get these types of moves every month or something, but the idea of getting into crypto and accumulating over here is that you anticipate these moves to happen at some point, and you want to take advantage of that. Hopefully our roof provides strong support. Right, strong support. Hopefully it was a well built roof. No, I don't think we're gonna go to 100K tonight. Cyrus says his family started buying. Is that our indication that the top is in? Do you guys want to hear the Bitcoin song again? My 4-year-old? I'm gonna play it even if you don't want to hear it. I might need to turn the volume up. Not financial advice.
Buy Bitcoin. Bitcoin. Buy Bitcoin. Buy Bitcoin. Buy Bitcoin.
Can you guys hear that? I don't know if you could hear it or not, actually. It's not financial advice, of course, but he's been saying that for a long time now. That's my 4-year-old. No, I did not make it. Someone named Ryan made it. He's in the Telegram chat. I did not make it. No, I don't think I would consider this to be an Ethereum pump quite yet. But I mean, as we said before, right? We said this before that Ethereum can move up occasionally. It can move up and not be. It can move up and then not necessarily be like a definitive move against Bitcoin, right? It can be slowly dragged up. Like it could be dragged up to 2K even if Bitcoin remains in price discovery mode. Okay, so we have to consider that as a possibility. Like even if Bitcoin remains in price discovery mode, Ethereum could theoretically be dragged up. Oh, through the roof. So we went through the roof just the wrong way. Just the wrong way, guys. Josh says his grandpa's asking if he owns Bitcoin. How many grandparents are asking about Bitcoin? Little Forest Lamb says my grandmother called me to ask me if Ethereum was available at Walmart or Costco. Uh, these things are concerning, I think. These things are concerning. No, I don't know if we got homeowner. I don't know if we got homeowners insurance here. We might need to repair the roof. We'll patch it up. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that we're getting close to the top necessarily, but when everyone's grandparents start asking about how to buy Bitcoin, historically speaking, it's not like the local top has been that far away. Ethereum's at 1839. Yeah, Ethereum's actually holding up. Ethereum's going up a little bit right now as Bitcoin comes back down. So maybe Ethereum's gonna have one of those little runs where it sort of does something, but nothing to like get out of bed for. Yeah, for the lifetime membership, I mean, I don't plan on not doing this. You can always just reach out to me through email if you have questions through the website. ADA's closing, or yeah, I mean, it's not moving that much. It's still 88 cents. Again, we've always said, I mean, coin USD valuations of altcoins can do well when Bitcoin's in price discovery mode. It's their Bitcoin valuations that tend to bleed. What would I like to see ADA hit? I mean, I would like to see it first break $1 and then go to $1.38, which was the prior all-time high. It would be kind of a shame if it's not able to at least break $1. Now we have a lot of people, a lot of grandparents in the chat claiming they bought Bitcoin. Mary bought it January 23rd. She's a grandmother. Well, I guess you're doing quite well. I thought I saw someone else. Jeremy is a grandparent. Got into crypto on November 20th. So you're doing very well. Ooh, into the house. To the garage, or no, it's the door. All right, now we have a lot of grandparents saying when they bought Bitcoin. All right, maybe I shouldn't say that anymore. All right, we're back at 52K. Are we going? Maybe instead of going into the front door, we're exiting the front door. Make sure you guys check out the Telegram channel and the premium list sale if you guys want to lock in the lower rate. I'll post that in the comments. You can also find it in the description below if you want the exclusive content. I'm probably going to get going soon, actually, because I have not eaten anything today, and I've been up for like 6 hours, so. All right. Yeah, my house is getting absolutely destroyed by by the price. I can assure you I'm not gonna wait for the price to go through this entire garage, which somehow I drew longer than the house itself. Actually, I think the video is lagging a little bit. I just saw it looks like the stream is starting to lag some. No, I do not have a bus in the garage. By the way, I'll use this as an opportunity to remind everyone that if you get contacted by people when you join my Telegram group or commenting on my YouTube, you need to remember that it's most likely not me. I will not send you a message on Telegram, so you can just tell these scammers to F off, basically, because they're not me. They will pretend to be me, but they are not me. All right, should we wrap it up here? If it goes below 52, we might just wrap it up. We also need to wrap it up before we get to 2,000 likes, so I don't have to get to a new chair. All right, we're below 52. We're below 52 now. But yeah, I mean, we've been going for, what, almost 2 hours now, so hopefully you guys like the content. If you do, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Give the video a thumbs up. Check out the Telegram channel, which you can find a link to in the description below. We also have the premium list. I'll post that on here in case you guys want to join that. You get access to the weekly reports, videos, and trading view indicators, etc. ADA is actually making a run a little bit. It's almost at 89 cents. So ADA is doing something. DOT is doing well too, almost at $32. So we'll see if maybe some diminished Bitcoin volatility will help pave the way for some altcoin moves. But again, so far, the month of February goes to Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin takes February. It also took December. Altcoins took January. Maybe March will bring another altcoin, more altcoin mania than we've already seen. But hopefully you guys like the content. Make sure you subscribe. Let's go for 125,000 subscribers. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'll see you next time. Bye.